How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is running an absurd amount of deals right now. I actually didn't realize the gravitas of how many deals they were running right now, but yeah, this is like peak Sony winter sale type quantity of deals. Maybe the quality isn't completely there for some of you guys, but there's a ton of stuff, so I gotta be catching up on doing some of these deals videos. Went through the games under $15 sale and the essential pick sale, and we've picked out some deals under $10. This does not include the PlayStation Indie sale. That's a whole sale, just has an absurd amount of deals. That will come later, but these two sales are ending on March the 16th, so a little bit shorter of a period left for them, so I thought we would take a look at them. A lot of great stuff, in my opinion, across the two sales, and let's just start off with what I think is the best deal across the maybe every deal that's being ran right now in the PlayStation Store. Let's get to it. XCOM 2 Collection, 93% off for $7. Look, I'm not the biggest fan of tactics strategy games. I've made that abundantly clear, but I loved XCOM Enemy Unknown, and I loved XCOM 2 even more. XCOM 2 is great, but if you buy XCOM 2 in the year 2022, you'll want to buy the collection. This includes War of the Chosen, and it includes quite a bit of other additional content, but War of the Chosen is the big one. Adds quite a bit to the overall experience, and you can tailor the experience of XCOM 2 how you want. Like, if you want it to be an easy game, you can have it be an easy game. If you want it to be crushing, you can make it absolutely crushing. But even if you're not the biggest fan of tactics games, at this price, $7, it's ridiculous, and I would give it a strong recommendation. So, yeah, definitely go check that out. Just a fantastic deal on that. Alright, now, moving on from that, another fantastic deal, honestly, on the level of XCOM 2. Maybe not quite at that level, a little bit partial towards that deal, but Middle-earth Shadow of War Definitive Edition being 85% off for $9 is a tremendous deal. Shadow of War improves upon the original release of Mordor, and I thought that was quite good, but go back and play that as well. Big open world title, satisfying gameplay, story is pretty interesting as well, and the Definitive Edition includes a pretty good amount of additional content as well, and story expansions on top of that, so you're getting quite a bit of additional stuff. At this stage of the game, I would probably say, if you can, stay away from the base game and go with the Definitive Edition, like if you don't decide to buy it right now. In the future, Definitive Edition, if I guess at this price, $9 is a really good buy, so I would give that a shout as well. Pretty good open world action adventure title. How about some typical deals that I like to mention? A couple Assassin's Creed games. Assassin's Creed Syndicate, 70% off for $9. Assassin's Creed Rogue Remastered, 67% off for $9.89. I think AC Syndicate is incredibly underrated. Enjoyed the hell out of the game. I thought the traversal was done better in the game. The world was pretty massive. I thought the story was relatively compelling. Unfortunate that it had to be released the year after Unity, and this game kind of got the brunt of that game being one that I would say most people thought underdelivered, but Syndicate didn't do well from a commercial standpoint, but I thought the game was fairly good, and for $9 I would say it's a great buy. Rogue, on the other hand, is a pretty good game. It's a resemblance of Assassin's Creed 4, not as good as AC4, but it has an interesting main character, a compelling story the whole way through. The naval combat's pretty decent as well. Overall, do I wish it performed a little bit better on the PlayStation 4? Do I wish it got an update on the PlayStation 5, even though it's initially a PS3 game? Yeah, all of the above are true on that one, but I think Rogue is pretty good. And at $9.89, I think it's a good buy with this price point. Next up, not crazy hot on this deal based on the price point, but the game is so good that, you know, I haven't mentioned it in a while. Dishonored Definitive Edition, 50% off for $9.99. Want to get this for $4.99. If we can get this down to $5, it's like such an easy slam dunk pickup. Reason being, it initially came out back in, I want to say, December of 2012. So we're talking a decade old at this point, or approaching a decade, 9.5 years, and that's a long time, and I would like to see it at $5. Let's just leave it short. But Dishonored's a fantastic game, and it's a game that you can play in a multitude of ways. You can go stealthy, you can go running, slashing, so to speak. There's a healthy level of exploration, a couple of different routes to go in terms of how you approach the gameplay. It's just a really enjoyable game, and I think the art style has aged really well. So would give this a strong recommendation. Yeah, just a very good game. Has some DLC included as well with this, so not a bad pickup. Next up, we have Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition, 80% off for $9.99. You guys know my thoughts on this game if you've been watching this channel for any length of time. I think it's a fantastic JRPG. Just a very lovable JRPG from the sense of you have a very, very likable cast of characters, in my opinion. You have an aloof main character, so to speak. Maybe aloof isn't the good word, but just an incredibly likable main character that is so much different than every other zero to hero JRPG main character. Lackadaisical, but very likable at the same time. You have the girl that's been stuck in the castle the whole time, and now she's finally wandered out. You have the royal knight. You have a lot of these archetypes that are done really, really well. The story isn't anything blow away. You know, save the world story. It's nothing crazy, but there is quite a bit of content in the game, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. $9.99, I think, is a great price for that one. Next up, we have Pyre from Supergiant Games, $7 for this one. Pyre and Transistor are probably the two more underrated Supergiant title. Obviously, Hades gets a lot of love. Bastion gets a love for being their debut title. Pyre is their RPG that came out back in 2017, and it's actually a pretty good party-based RPG. You know, pretty good story here, fantastic art style once again. The presentation is top-notch, as it always is with these games, but this is a worthwhile checkout as well, especially at $7. The other Supergiant games are on sale, but they're part of the indie sale, so that's why they're not included in this video. They will be mentioned in a future video, but Pyre, pretty solid. Next up, another JRPG that this one definitely I wouldn't recommend to everyone just because it is an older game. Star Ocean Till the End of Time is 60% off for $8.39. Now, this is a PS2 on PS4 game, so expectations in line from a visual standpoint on this one. This is an incredibly, incredibly long game. Maybe its length was to the point of it overstaying its welcome. That is up for debate, but the game itself still, if you want to get into something that's filled with content, you're going to find that battle system solid, a cast is okay. I didn't find the characters to be incredibly riveting, but they were fine, and overall another pretty good JRPG. Not, you know, a blowaway one, but a lot of people like Star Ocean Till the End of Time. This is Star Ocean 3, by the way, in the series, but very good. Pretty good, I should say. Very good might be a stretch, but a lot of people do think it's very good. Maybe I'm underselling it a little bit, but my time with it, I enjoyed it for what it was. Again, just keep your expectations in line from a technical standpoint. Next up, we have Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, 70% off for $9. Obviously, easy one to always recommend. Dragon's Dogma was a game that was beloved on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. Really, the only thing that held it back was its technical aspects, and those chains came off with the PlayStation 4 release, namely the PC release first, but you guys get the idea. Action RPG here, pretty challenging. Sees some comparisons to the Souls games, definitely has its own unique flavor. Like, the only thing I will always go back to as my complaint with this version of Dragon's Dogma, and overall, it's a better version of Dragon's Dogma, this Dark Arisen release, they changed the theme song to the game, and the theme song was tremendous in the original Dragon's Dogma. I don't know if it was some licensing issues or whatever the deal was with that, but I was like, no, dude. And the theme song in Dark Arisen, not as good. But yeah, you're getting the Dark Arisen expansion. We'll take that over the theme song. $9 for it. A very good deal. Next up, Pillars of Eternity Complete Edition. $9.99. A very, very good RPG by Obsidian, and one that is, they're expanding the world in, but like, we won't be getting that on PlayStation. Very, very good game that is obviously tailor-made for a PC, but it makes a solid transition to PlayStation 4 as well. Very good writing and storytelling in here, but you must go into this game. Obviously, if you're going into this game, you want a game that is a little bit heavy on the storytelling, and it definitely is that, but some pretty good gameplay and some strategic-based gameplay as well. Quite a bit of replayability. Complete Edition includes the additional White March Part 1 and 2 expansions. $9.99, good pick up on that. By the way, it's a $9.99 price tag for Plus subscribers. If you're not a Plus subscriber, you'll be paying $12.49. Next up, we have Sega and Platinum Games' Vanquish, 60% off for $9.99 as well. Often talk about this game, but if you take a Platinum Games title from an action-orient standpoint, turn it up to 11, that's what you're going to get out of Vanquish. This game is so over the top from a gameplay standpoint, even compared to typical Platinum titles. You got, you know, guns everywhere on your body, you got jetpacks, boosters, everything like that. Yeah, the game's pretty wild, but it's a ton of fun. It's not lengthy whatsoever. Saturday evening, you pop it in, you can beat it by nighttime, and you're gonna have a pretty good time with it. Don't expect a riveting story here as well. It gets the job done. $10 might even be a little bit pricey on this one just because it's such a short game, but quality over quantity, I guess, on this one, and I still think it's a pretty good buy. Next up, we have Infamous Second Son, 50% off for $9.99. Love me some Infamous, and boy oh boy, I hope we get a new Infamous. Hopefully the rumors on that are true, but Infamous Second Son was a very good game. It was an early PlayStation 4 title. It does sometimes come across like a game that you have to keep in mind. It came out in March of 2014, so at that point, Sony was very much, yo, we gotta get these exclusives out. It did come across a little bit rushed, but still, it has a healthy level of content. I thought the gameplay was still good. You have a nice variety of different powers. Story isn't anything crazy. I didn't find Delsin to be as compelling of a main character as Cole, especially Cole from the first game. That's just going to be a little bit hard to do, but Delsin is an okay character. It's just I didn't feel as much emotional attachment towards the different, the different karmatic choices that you had throughout the game. Still, it's worthwhile to go through the game twice for sure, and if you want to get the platinum, pretty easy to get the platinum as well, so you can do that. Included with PlayStation Now, should be mentioned, but $9.99, definitely a good buy on that one. Next up, we have Dreams, which is 60% off for $7.99, a game that I often recommend, and at this price point, it's hard not to recommend it. Media Molecule deserves a lot more love for Dreams. Unfortunately, they just don't get it. This is a game that, when it came out, I think there was a nice level of buzz surrounding the game, but this is a game that was always going to have that barrier to cross, where it was going to be a game that's going to get better over time. So maybe it did have a healthy level of interest when it initially came out, but ultimately, the creations are what are going to be the lifeline of the game, and they are done pretty well by the community. I mean, some people would look at games that come out, some of the lower budget titles, and be like, hey, that kind of looks like a game that Dreams could come close to replicate. I'm not saying you're gonna get, you know, full-fledged releases out of Dreams, but people go wild with Dreams and spend a lot of time on their creations. We see some pretty cool stuff, and if you just want to get into the game, get into the trippy experiences that Dreams has to offer, that's a great thing to do as well, and you'll find enjoyment. Really think this should be a game that should get ported to PC, by the way. I just think it would do really well on that platform as well. Have some, you know, cross-platform play as well, cross-platform sharing, I guess, and I think that would definitely extend the appeal to Dreams quite a bit. Lastly, I do want to give a shout to Detroit Become Human, a very, very good narrative-driven game coming from Quantic Dreams. I think people will go back and forth on which Quantic Dreams title they like the best. I know Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy is probably the one a lot of people are nostalgic with. If you go back and play that game in 2022, it's pretty hard to get into. I mean, Heavy Rain came out in 2009, 2010, and that game shows its age quite a bit. So think about Fahrenheit. Detroit, on the other hand, more of a recent release. I think it came out back in 2018, 2019, and it looks very good from a visual standpoint, and the story is pretty compelling. I think you should just go into it blind. Don't be looking up like how to get X ending or how to get X scenario to play out. Just go into it, make the decisions on your own, and I really do believe that's how you're gonna find the best experience out of Detroit Become Human. Sure, you might not be satisfied with every element of the game, but that makes it seem like the game actually has consequences that you have to live with. After that, after you beat the game, alright, go back and do whatever you want, but it's very enjoyable, and it's a game that, yes, while it's a single-player game, I really think that anybody can come join you for the experience and be compelled with the story they're being told in Detroit. You know, it's a game that I've played with like a group of 4 people around me while I was going through it, and I think that's one of the best parts about Detroit. If you want to play it solo, absolutely, go play it solo with nobody around you, but at the same time, I think it's good for that as well. Also, another game included with PlayStation Now if you want to check it out that way. But that's going to do it for me. Again, a ton of great deals available right now. XCOM 2 The Collection, definitely out of all the deals, I think is head and shoulders the deal that I would recommend. If it had a true upgrade on PS5, and I don't believe it has an upgrade on PS5, which is a bit of a bummer, it would be such a great one to recommend, but yeah, it is what it is. But definitely some other good deals as well. Detroit Become Human, if you're looking for something super story-driven. The Assassin's Creed titles are always a good bet. If you want some mindless open-world fun, I think they're always a good time. Dishonored, good pickup, even though I would like it a little bit cheaper. But that's going to do it for me. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.